Hey people, welcome to the Run Test. It's Kieran here, and today you're joining me at the Runthrough Battersea Half. I'm going to be doing a race test of the Saucony Endorphin Pro 3. So the rest of the run testers have been raving about this shoe. I have yet to run in it. This is still box fresh, it's still got the paper in. I'm going to be taking them out to do the half. How am I going to do? I have no idea really. I have done a lot of sort of training, obviously over running the Danube 67 marathon, 67 days. I've recently done a couple marathons and a half, 127 at the Royal Parks half about 6 weeks ago, but a little bit tired, not feeling my fittest or my greatest this morning. So I've no idea. Going to go and see though if these can give me a little bit of an extra edge on what is a pretty flat looped course. We're going to be doing about kind of 7 or 8 loops of Battersea Park here, pretty much in straight lines really. So I'm hoping that I will get some more out of these shoes, but we're going to see how they perform, talk about them against the other carbon shoes. So that's it, through 129 or something, and the Endorphin Pro 3, first time I've run in them. Got a lot to say about these shoes. Like them, first impressions, I really like them. Got a nice kind of wide kind of landing zone, good solid base. I think a lot more stable than some of the other shoes that we've tested, the carbon shoes. Yeah, I think there's a lot to like about them. I didn't feel they were quite as poppy as some of the others, but that race they absolutely performed brilliantly fresh out of the box. So I'll do more analysis after when I've kind of rested, but so far so good. Just finished the Battersea Run Through Half, and Fuad has just joined me.
Absolutely.
Run tester viewer.
Well, it was great. Thanks for all the advice and content, which has helped me. I'm a young runner, so thanks to you, Guy, and the whole crew.
What are you running in today?
The Vaporflies.
How were they?
Very good.
Good time?
Very good. Yeah, absolutely.
You did a good time?
Happy with that, and
Lovely.
getting ready for Valencia.
All right. So that's the Battersea Run Through Half done in the Saucony Endorphin Pro 3. I found myself a little quiet bench to come and have a chat about how I found the shoes. Now, for shoes, they're box fresh this morning, put them on for the race, first time. Brilliant kind of disappearing feel on the foot. Really love that. The uppers wrapped really nicely, cradled the foot really well. I think the most sort of startling thing about them for a kind of a super foam carbon plate super shoe is that you've got quite a wide base on them. You've got this kind of really big kind of landing zone. It's not as, I don't think, as kind of soft and squishy and sort of responsive and punchy and kind of energetic as something like the Alphafly or, you know, the Adidas Prime X Strung, which I've been running a lot in recently. They're not as aggressive, but they've got a lot of kick for a shoe that runs lovely and sort of normally, if that's the right word for a super shoe. It just feels a little bit more sort of traditional and regular and not over-baked or not overcooked. You know, you're just getting extra without sort of sacrificing, I think, any stability or any of that, you know, I guess just sort of control that you lose a bit when you're on something like the really springy Strung or, you know, the Alphafly, which makes them brilliant in corners as well as sort of in straight lines. So I really enjoyed these shoes. The Battersea Park course here, no real kind of tight turns, very sort of smooth loops. And so a lot of straight line running, and these performed great for that. I don't think they're as punchy as the Alphafly. I don't think they're as punchy as the Adidas Prime X Strung. But I think for people, if you're looking for a race shoe that's a little bit more regular but does give you extra energy, then these are going to be it. So after that half marathon race test in the Saucony Endorphin Pro 3, I don't think this is the out and out fastest shoe for racing. I think for me, the Alphafly and the Prime X Strung still kind of take that top spot. And for that reason, when I'm hunting kind of fast times, I'd still choose one of those two shoes to go racing. But from that half marathon race test experience, what I do know is that this is a brilliantly well balanced carbon plated shoe. It's instantly comfortable on the foot, even fresh out of the box, which is how I kind of race tested it for that half marathon. You know, it's poppy, it's propulsive, with great feedback without being too aggressive and overcooking it. And I think there's a much more forgiving, kind of slightly sort of more stable platform here, which I really enjoyed over and above some of the other kind of wobblier carbon race shoes that you'll find out there. And for me, I think I found that really sort of came into its own even when you're not kind of running in some of the straight lines, which for some of those kind of super shoes where you're on a bit of a more of a wobbly platform, some of the cornering can be a little bit tricky. This one has no problems with that at all. Now, I often talk about shoes that I think will look after you in races, even when towards the end of races, be it a half or a marathon, in those kind of last miles where you might not be running in your best form and you might be struggling a little bit and things go a little bit ragged. Shoes that can really sort of look after you in those moments. These shoes do that brilliantly well because of, I think, the way that you've got that kind of platform that they, to run on. That's not true of all super shoes either. So I think these really, really stand out for that alone. It manages to kind of feel a little bit kind of more natural and more protective, whilst also giving you everything that you need to go out and run fast races. Yeah, so for me, it's great when you're running really well. It's also good when you're not running quite so well. And that's not true of all carbon race shoes. So this is something that I think the Saucony Endorphin Pro 3 really, really has to recommend it. Yeah, so overall, I love this shoe. It's still not my favourite race shoe. I would happily run marathons in it, race marathons in it. I think, especially at times when I'm not sure what I'm going to get if I'm not feeling my fittest, I think this is a very accommodating shoe. And it has, that's mainly kind of, for me, its main USP is that it will do well even when you're not. Yeah, and I think Saucony has done it again. Another shoe in the Saucony lineup that I think comes kind of highly recommended from me. So there you have it. That's been my half marathon race test of the Saucony Endorphin Pro 3. A really, really solid shoe. One you should definitely look at. Lots of more content on the channel here. The team have all tested it, done kind of reviews. There's lots and lots of race tests. Tom obviously has chalked off loads and loads of PBs in this shoe and has waxed lyrical about it. So go and find those videos on the channel now. Check them out if you want to get into more detail. But yeah, thanks for listening, and we hope to see you again soon on the Run Testers.